If water cannot enter your lawn, grass roots may be struggling beneath an invisible barrier. This simple resistance test reveals why watering, feeding, and reseeding sometimes produce disappointing results.
Compacted soil restricts the pore spaces that normally carry water, oxygen, and growing roots.
The weakest strip often follows the exact route taken by people, pets, or machinery.
Repeated pressure, especially on wet ground, squeezes soil particles closer together with every crossing. Seeds scattered over a sealed surface may dry out, wash away, or lose soil contact. Adding more water cannot repair pore infiltration and may simply increase runoff or puddling.
A greener surface begins below ground, where roots need connected spaces to expand and function.
Pore aeration removes small plugs, creating temporary channels through the lawn's compacted root zone.
Used at the correct time, those openings support recovery rather than promising an overnight transformation.
Healthy soil is not solid material. It contains particles, organic matter, water, and air.
Compaction reduces pore space and increases resistance, making root growth and water movement more difficult. Reduced infiltration can leave the surface wet, while deeper roots receive surprisingly little moisture. Roots encountering high resistance often remain shallow, reducing access to moisture during hot, dry weather. Shallow-rooted grass can lose color sooner because its usable soil reservoir is considerably smaller.
During prolonged saturation, displaced soil air can also leave grass roots short of oxygen.
Compaction can therefore contribute to both drought stress and drainage trouble in different weather.
Thin turf leaves open growing space that adaptable weeds may exploit before grass recovers. Certain weeds tolerate hard ground, but their presence alone does not prove compaction.
Fertilizer supplies nutrients, but it cannot mechanically reopen pore spaces crushed by repeated pressure.
A packaged soil conditioner should never replace diagnosis, soil testing, or label-directed application. Gypsum is not a universal clay cure and should be used only when locally justified.
Randomly adding sand to clay may create an unsuitable mixture instead of correcting compaction.
No homemade liquid can substitute for removing cores when physical soil pressure is the problem.
Salt, bleach, and concentrated vinegar can injure plants, soil life, or nearby surfaces.
Solid spikes make openings, but some designs can compress soil around each puncture. Hollow tines physically remove soil, making core aeration more effective against genuine compaction.
Thatch and compaction are different conditions, although core aeration may help manage both.
A springy surface layer suggests thatch, while hard mineral soil indicates another problem.
Successful repair starts by separating compaction from shade, disease, insects, drought, and poor drainage. Begin inspection by mapping puddles, worn routes, bare areas, and places where water runs away.
First, test a healthy reference area using a screwdriver when the ground is moderately moist.
Then compare the worn area. Noticeably greater resistance supports, but does not quantify, compaction.
A soil probe provides a clearer view of texture, moisture, roots, and compacted layers. Look for shallow rooting, abrupt, dense layers, and roots traveling sideways instead of downward. Where probing is difficult, lift a small turf sample and examine the root zone directly.
Select a representative soil sample before deciding whether nutrients or pH also require correction.
Combine several samples from comparable lawn areas and follow your testing laboratory's exact instructions. Sample unusual problem areas separately, because mixing them can hide important differences in soil conditions.
A hand texture check offers clues, but laboratory analysis provides more dependable amendment guidance.
Before aerating, locate irrigation pipes, sprinkler heads, cables, lighting, and any shallow utilities.
Clearly flag every obstacle, because powered tines can damage equipment hidden beneath healthy-looking turf.
Avoid aggressive cultivation over major tree roots, which can be injured by deep mechanical tines.
Identify your grass first, because recovery season, seeding options, and mowing practices vary by species.
Local extension guidance can help distinguish cool season grasses from warm season lawns and suitable cultivars.
Cool season lawns are commonly core aerated during active growth, often in early autumn or spring. Warm season grasses generally recover best when aerated from late spring into their summer growth period.
Avoid disruptive aeration during dormancy, because slow-growing turf cannot close the openings efficiently.
Do not aerate severely drought-stressed turf during extreme heat, merely to follow a calendar.
Saturated ground can smear and compact further under heavy machines, so allow drainage before working. The ideal soil is moist enough for intact cores, but neither dusty nor waterlogged. On extremely dry soil, tines may penetrate poorly and produce shallow, ineffective holes.
If conditions are dry, moderate irrigation beforehand may improve penetration without saturating the lawn. Always confirm actual moisture the next day, instead of assuming the watering produced ideal conditions.
Read the machine manual, inspect its guards, and understand every control before entering the lawn.
Use the protective equipment specified by the manufacturer and keep bystanders away during operation.
Remove children, pets, toy, hoses, and loose objects before starting any powered lawn equipment.
Steep slopes require special caution. Follow equipment limits or choose a safer manual method.
For small lawns, a manual hollow tine tool provides controlled treatment without a large machine.
For larger areas, a powered core aerator can create consistent holes more efficiently.
Watch for removed plugs. Shallow dimples alone indicate that penetration or equipment setup needs attention.
Move at the manufacturer's recommended pace so the machine removes cores rather than skipping ground. A second crossing direction can improve coverage on heavily compacted areas when turf remains stable. Concentrate extra passes where evidence shows compaction, instead of disturbing every section equally. Use manual tools around marked obstacles where powered equipment cannot maintain a safe clearance.
Disengage powered tines before tight turns whenever the equipment instructions require that safer technique.
Sharp powered turns can lift healthy turf and create damage unrelated to the original compaction.
A properly treated lawn looks temporarily untidy, with open holes and scattered soil plugs. On many lawns, plugs can remain and break apart naturally through weather and mowing.
Some heavy or waterlogged lawns may require plug removal before an appropriate top dressing is brushed in.
Use only a locally appropriate top dressing that matches the soil and planned renovation method. Spread material thinly and work it into openings without smothering the existing grass canopy.
If grass disappears beneath the dressing, the application is too heavy for safe recovery.
Pure sand is not automatically suitable. Soil texture and professional recommendations should guide selection.
Where recommended, screened mature organic material can contribute to gradual surface soil improvement. Let soil test results determine whether lime, nutrients, or other amendments are actually necessary.
Never apply lime automatically. Excessive pH correction can create new nutrient availability problems.
When feeding is justified, calibrate the spreader and follow the product label exactly. Sweep stray fertilizer from hard surfaces so rainfall cannot carry it into storm drains.
Aeration creates useful seed-to-soil opportunities, but only when seeding season suits the grass.
Choose species and cultivars adapted to your climate, sunlight, use, and existing lawn.
Warm season lawns may require plugs, sod, or specific seed rather than a generic northern mixture.
Apply seed at the locally recommended rate because excessive seeding increases competition and disease risk.
Light raking improves contact, but deeply buried grass seed may struggle to reach light.
A light roller can improve contact on suitable ground, but avoid heavy rolling.
Keep the seedbed consistently moist with gentle applications that do not cause runoff or displacement.
Check moisture physically because wind, temperature, shade, and soil texture change drying speed.
Flooding newly seeded soil can move seed, reduce oxygen, and recreate surface sealing.
Protect recovering areas from traffic while seedlings establish and loosened soil settles naturally.
Redirect predictable traffic permanently, or the repaired soil will gradually become compacted again.
Germination timing varies by species and weather, so judge progress patiently rather than daily. Delay mowing until seedlings are sufficiently established for the recommendations applying to your grass. A sharp blade makes cleaner cuts and places less stress on newly developing turf.
Make the first cut on firm ground and remove only a modest portion.
Ragged tips lose moisture and make a recovering lawn look pale, even when roots improve.
Maintain the mowing height recommended for your species instead of scalping weak grass.
Fine clippings may remain when evenly distributed, but remove clumps that could smother seedlings.
A catch can check can reveal irrigation gaps that resemble compaction or undermine recovery.
Correct uneven irrigation before adding water indiscriminately to every thin or dry patch. After establishment, water deeply enough for the root zone while avoiding routine surface saturation. Count for rainfall and local restrictions instead of watering automatically on a fixed schedule.
Repeat the resistance comparison later, recognizing that this home test remains approximate.
New roots extending deeper provide stronger evidence of recovery than color alone.
Improved infiltration after rainfall can indicate progress, although drainage conditions still influence the result.
Density develops gradually through rooting, tillering, or spreading, depending on the grass species. Heavy loads on wet soil can quickly undo aeration by compressing the softened ground.
Delay heavy work when possible, or distribute unavoidable loads across a wider temporary surface.
Vary mowing routes so wheels do not repeatedly compress the same narrow soil lines.
Move frequent activities between suitable areas rather than concentrating pressure on one vulnerable patch. Permanent paths are often the best solution where daily foot traffic cannot realistically stop. New build lawns may contain deeply compacted subsoil created by construction equipment before turf installation.
Buried rubble or shallow topsoil cannot always be corrected through routine surface aeration.
Deep, Widespread construction compaction deserves assessment from a qualified soil or landscape professional. Water consistently moving toward buildings indicates a grading problem, not merely thirsty grass.
Seek professional drainage advice when standing water threatens structures, remains prolonged, or receives contaminated runoff.
Aeration cannot overcome severe shade when available light is insufficient for the selected grass.
In unsuitable shade, mulch or shade-adapted planting may outperform repeated attempts to establish turf.
Leaf spots or rapidly expanding patches require diagnosis because aeration alone cannot treat disease. Loose turf and damaged roots may indicate insects, requiring identification before any control decision.
Extension laboratories or qualified professionals can separate soil problems from pests, diseases, and environmental stress.
Dethatching removes excess organic material near the surface, but does not relieve deeper soil compaction. Choose core aeration when inspection confirms compacted soil, rather than automatically power raking every lawn.
Spike sandals usually create limited shallow holes and cannot match true plug-removing equipment.
Routine heavy rolling may worsen compaction and should not be used to flatten every uneven lawn.
Minor low spots can be leveled gradually, but major grade correction requires proper site planning.
Do not bury unexplained depressions before checking for drainage failures, settling, or underground damage.
The best repair window follows active growth, not a universal date shared by every region.
Cool conditions and active growth often give northern lawns valuable recovery time after autumn aeration.
Actively growing warm season turf can spread into disturbed areas when warmth and moisture remain suitable.
Postpone renovation when extreme weather would prevent recovery, even if the usual season has arrived.
Document conditions before treatment so future decisions rely on evidence instead of memory.
Comparing untreated and treated areas can reveal whether aeration produced a meaningful practical improvement.
Healthy soil does not need unnecessary disruption simply because annual aeration appears on a checklist.
High-traffic clay lawns may need treatment more often than lightly used, well-structured sandy soils.
Reassess symptoms and soil condition before repeating treatment, rather than aerating on habit alone.
Better infiltration is valuable, but avoid claiming success from one informal demonstration alone.
Living roots and soil organisms help maintain structure when the lawn is managed responsibly.
Appropriate organic inputs support gradual improvement. They cannot instantly reverse deep mechanical compaction. As density improves, the grass canopy occupies space that might otherwise support weeds. Control isolated weeds carefully and avoid stressing young grass with unnecessary treatments.
Herbicide timing around seeding varies, so the exact product label must govern every application.
Expect gradual change because root growth, germination, and soil recovery depend on weather and management.
Repair sequence is diagnose, choose the correct season, core aerate, then support recovery.
Protect utilities, avoid saturated ground, and operate every tool according to its manufacturer's instructions.
Where suitable, pair aeration with correctly timed seeding and gentle establishment watering.
Prevent renewed compaction by redirecting traffic, varying mowing routes, and avoiding wet soil pressure. Call a professional for persistent flooding, deep construction compaction, major grading, or unexplained settling.
Thicker grass comes from healthier growing conditions, not from one product or instant remedy. Fix the ground beneath your lawn, and the visible grass gains a stronger foundation.
Subscribe for more research-based lawn guidance. and adapt every technique to your local conditions.